Hey guys, I tried Headspeed MP, the newest release. I think that it is still not a racket for me, but this might be the best speed MP I ever tried, and I tried the Touch, the Graphene XT and the 360 Plus. There was always something about the wave distribution that bothered me, and in this release I didn't feel it. Won't be part of my tournament of rackets. I still think might be a good review. So yeah, let's jump into this. So first try, obviously I noticed a slightly bigger launch angle. Speed in general is a power-oriented category of rackets, I would say. Gives a bit more push to the ball, but it is still a more predictable launch. Of course, I noticed the slightly higher launch jumping straight from the Percept 97 or Tfight 305, Speed Pro, Gravity Pro. So yeah, of course I have a bigger launch angle and more responsive feel, but speed in general gives you a lot of feedback, so you can kind of adapt. I kind of found the swing path and acceleration, how to move the racket to get the response that I want. And in general, I would say speed is a line that is more for people that want to penetrate the court rather than play a loopy ball. That's why I think it is not exactly for me. From the speed, I respect Speed Pro. I even used to play with the Graphene Speed Pro. I also very enjoyed playing with the 360 Plus Speed Pro. I think so far it was my favorite Speed Pro to date. Haven't tried the Legend one, so hope I will have a chance to try it as well. But from the MPs, this one was my favorite. It was, I think something was improved in feel and wave distribution. Everything else pretty much the same. It is more responsive, the launch is a bit higher, the spin potential and forgiveness a bit better. The only question is, will the players using Speed MP prefer the MP over the Pro? Because now the static wave of the Pro got lowered, so it is easier to use kinda, because both have relatively high swing wave range. But at the same time, Speed Pro is more headlight, so the wrist acceleration is a bit easier at net, easier on serves, easier to snap and get the control back and feel of the swing. Speed MP is a bit more hammery, but at the same time, with the static wave being much lower, it kind of feels light. At least I felt that way on my backhand. Forehand was nice, but I still would prefer Speed Pro. And Speed Pro isn't an anemic racket. However, most players I talk to, I play with, that are using the Speed Pro with 18-20 string patterns, string it pretty low, like 21, 22 kilos max. Mainly, I think, to get back the pocketing sensation and the spin potential. Not really looking for power, I would say. And that's why maybe Speed Pro might not be the best racket for them, if that is the reason why they're playing with the Speed Pro. I think if you're looking for the pocketing sensation, maybe you should be looking at the Gravity line or Prestige line. Of course, Prestige Pro is a totally different beast, much more demanding, and that's why many players migrated to Speed line, while the Gravity maybe didn't offer enough forgiveness compared to the Prestige, because Gravity Pro is a pretty demanding racket, heavier in swing wave, and the power potential is pretty low, very similar to Prestige Pro, right? So no real benefits here other than forgiveness, but players at this level, I don't think they struggle that much with catching the ball on the sweet spot. So there must be some other, I think, reasons to switch over to gravity. Maybe swing path, maybe swing style, maybe spin potential. The spin window is a bit bigger. But let's go back to the speed MP. Should advanced juniors play with it? Maybe, but the swing wave is pretty high. Maybe too high for this type of racket, because you're now entering into this range of rackets, very professional rackets that could be used and maybe even be more user-friendly, maybe extreme pro. So yeah, even radical MP, I think, could be better for those type of players. Basically lower swing wave, but still keeping the stability pretty high up. With those kind of specs, it's still an advanced racket, and within the range of advanced rackets, I think players will be advanced enough to know what they're looking for, and within this specific range of rackets, like I need power, I need spin, I need stability, I need whatever, there are probably better options than the speed MP. Speed MP should be kind of easier radical MP, and it's not. It's a powerful racket. Yeah, in some ways I can protect this statement that it could be easier radical MP, but it's not really for the players that are playing with the radical MP. It's more kind of head response to Babolat frames while offering better comfort and feel and control, but still trying to give the response and spin potential. So in this sense, yeah, it makes sense, and maybe that's the reason why the specs are a bit higher, to kind of bring back the explosiveness to the racket while keeping the control and feel better than those Babolat frames that are relatively stiff with lower swing wave, but the stiffness of the racket brings back the responsiveness. It's a balancing game, but I think more technical players with better strokes and better idea behind their game will benefit more from other frames like Speed Pro and maybe Gravity and Prestige line in general. If you want a bit more spin potential, a bit more explosiveness from the frame, I think you will be better with the Extreme Pro. So Speed MP kinda lacks personality, I would say, but in this angle, comparing it to the Babolat frames, maybe it makes more sense. Otherwise, the frames would be overlapping too much in heads catalog. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. The only question is it that easy to transfer some Babolat fans over to the head camp? I think once you start using Babolat frames, you get used to this response, you're kind of stuck in this group of frames forever. But yeah, if you get injured, if your body will refuse to use Babolat frames, then you have to search around, and yeah, Speed MP makes sense. Blade 100 comes to my mind as well, and we also have Percept 100, which I also tried. Compared Speed MP to the Percept 100, I would say Speed MP is much more bulky in feel. You have better chord penetration, higher swing wave, so more stability as well. With the Percept, you have a bit better touch because it is much lighter in swing wave. It is much easier to accelerate, so yeah, maybe easier spin potential and better feel. So in this case, actually, Percept 100 could be, let's say, an alternative version for the radical MP users, while the Speed MP is something different, right, with that high swing wave. Once you start using the Speed MP and get used to it, being, let's say, an amateur that is scared to jump over to much heavier frames, if you can play with the Speed MP, you can play with many different rackets from the market. Don't be afraid of the Speed Pro. Don't be afraid of the Prestige MP. Don't be afraid of the Percept 97. So yeah, that's a quick review. Not my favorite, but one of the best speeds in years. So maybe it's worth testing it, especially if you're a Babolat user looking for a bit more comfort but still get the stability and responsiveness you get used to over all the years of using your responsive stiff racket. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching and see you soon.